Right, then let's get back to news on the continent now. In the wake of the central bank's decision to float the Egyptian pound and hike in fuel prices, Egyptians say they're finding it increasingly difficult to feed their families. Here's Leslie Mirungu with more on that story.
Egyptians have been struggling to make ends meet, with the economy in tatters and the inflation rate at 18%. They say last week's decision to devalue the Egyptian pound only made things worse.
It shouldn't have been now. People can't afford to buy food. People are hungry. There's no food. Those who have kids, what do? Do they sell their kids? What should they do with them? Those who have 4, 5 kids, what do? Should they sell one of them? People are fed up.
The pound devaluation promises to attract fresh capital into the country and end a hard currency shortage that has plagued the economy for years. Economists and businessmen praised the move to float the pound. They said it should have happened sooner. But ordinary Egyptians disagree.
To solve the problem, the government began to import huge quantities directly from abroad without traditional importers and suppliers. This amount was meant to quickly cover the demand in the market.
Earlier calls for protests on Friday were not backed by any political groups, but are said to have brought a sense of worry. President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi has urged Egyptians not to protest and warned that there will be no going back on economic reforms, whatever the pain. But for the man on the street, the gain that devaluation promises remains just that, a promise for now. Leslie Mirungu, CCTV.
Right then, devaluations, of course, are always very painful processes to start with. Let's get the latest on what's going on in Egypt. Yasser Kim joins me now live from Cairo, the latest developments over there. Yasser, good to see you. Given this devaluation, where do economists expect inflation to rise to and over what time frame?
Well, we're talking already around 18–20% at the moment. It could go on for a few months. The government is working hard to try to prevent any more inflation rise. It's trying to control the prices in the markets. It's trying to keep its own prices of basic necessities such as medicine. The prices have stayed as it is, no change in prices there. The transportation, electricity, even with the higher prices of oil. So the government is trying to as much as it can to try to hold the inflation, although it will not be easy. Already prices have been going up for several products, but we're talking 20% maybe for the next few months.
Indeed, but here's another problem that's coming Egypt's way. I understand the Saudis have indefinitely stopped oil shipments that were agreed to when King Salman was in the country earlier in the year. I mean, I thought Egypt and Saudi Arabia were allies here. What happened, and when will replacements be bought in the open market?
No one knows what happened. Egypt is not saying why it's been cancelled. It's just said that we were informed by Aramco, which is the Saudi oil company, that it will not supply anymore indefinitely. But they're saying it's not cancelled. It's just indefinitely for now. We don't know when they will supply. Some are saying it's because of the political differences over places like Syria, issues like Syria and Yemen. We all know that the Saudi Arabia and other Gulf countries are now in an economic situation there. There's for the first time they're going to issue dollar bonds in the market. The first time they're going to ask for loans from the IMF because of the lower, the falling prices of oil in the last year or so, and of course of the high cost and the high burden of the wars which Saudi Arabia has been taking part in, like Yemen, Syria, and all this. So what economists here are trying to say, or the government is trying to say, is just economic. The two countries are close allies. They have a lot of at stake between them. This issue of these shipments will not affect their relationship because there's more at stake politically, economically between both countries. And it's just like Egypt will find a way to get more or alternative shipments. Already October and November shipments have been purchased so far, and the government is saying it's planning to purchase to sign a long-term deal similar to the 5-year deal with Saudi Arabia, but with another country. We don't know who yet.
Indeed.
But
Also,
not Iran, I guess. There's a lot of rumors about Iran, not Iran.
well, if they do sign a deal with the Iranians, that will be quite the game changer. Let's talk about the EGX30 though. I mean, it's been hitting highs that we haven't seen since 2008. 10,165 points was a number, I believe, earlier on. What sectors of the Egyptian economy are foreign investors buying into, and why are they liking the Egyptian growth story?
First of all, yes, like you said, it's mostly buying from the foreign investors, which is something that looked bright for the people in the market, mainly because the devaluation has pushed the Egyptian pound by 48% down. So the price of the shares for someone who holds dollars outside has gone down by 50%, when in truth in Egypt it's still the same. So this is an excellent kind of investment on the short term, better than any other investment at this point. If you calculate in the last 5 sessions, those traders have made around 20% profit. That's in an investment. In any other investment fund, you get like 17% per year. You had it in 5 sessions. You can go up to 25% or 30% in the next 6 months. So this is considered a good investment at this point. But they're not going in with huge numbers. Yes, it's good, better than the last 5 years. But yet we want to see more numbers coming in. Maybe when things calm down and everyone knows what's happening in this transitional period after the devaluation of the pound.
Indeed. We'll leave it there for the time being. Thank you for the update as always. It's Yasser Hakim live in Cairo, who'll keep us up to speed, of course, with all the developments up north.